I just realized I just took one headphone out because I realized this is a thing. I've done several podcasts, not just yours, which thanks for having me back, by the way. Appreciate it muchly.
It's always nice to have you back. It'd be nicer if I could talk, but...
Well, words are hard, especially right now.
Words are hard. Oh, yeah. This is Rachel, by the way, back again.
Hello, yes, back again. But I realize that, like, as I get excited about things, I start talking louder and louder and louder, which I don't notice when I'm doing it, but listening to a podcast, like, I was just yelling about The Untamed in the last podcast.
No, it's fine. It's good audio.
Oh, no.
It's good entertainment.
Okay, good. But it's just, I notice after the fact, and it's hard for me to tamp it down in the moment, but then I realized, I have both headphones in. Maybe if I take out one and I can hear myself better, maybe that'll help, and I'll not be yelling at you by the end of the podcast.
That was fine. You were very excited, and I was like, I'm just gonna sit back and listen to how excited she is.
I'm still excited. Saturdays are for vegan pizza and The Untamed. That's what I've been doing with my Saturdays since quarantine, and since I can't go out to the gay bar. I just watch beautiful Chinese people doing magic, and eat very good vegan pizza from the place up the road from me.
I mean, that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I'm getting through the days.
Yeah.
Tyler Glenn from the Neon Trees posted an Instagram post the other day about how much he misses gay bars and making out with strangers and dancing and drinking with friends. Because he lives by himself, so I've been watching him slowly go insane over Instagram Live. And
Seems legit.
I find it deeply relatable.
Yeah.
Tyler Glenn is incredible, by the way. I don't know, did you ever listen to his album Excommunication?
Yes, I did. I think I still have it on my phone. I need to add that to my Spotify. So that comes up into my Spotify. Oh, local governor is doing his daily watch me talk about our suffering and cry at home. Let's not do that right now.
Great. Yeah, no, we don't need to do that.
No, I'm good. I'm
good. I don't need daily updates. I just don't.
I don't mind the daily updates because the local governor is doing very good. And
yeah, mine is too.
Yeah, more, and so like I feel like I don't have to like pay attention to all the crap going on Twitter just because like this is what's happening locally. This is what they're trying to do. That's it. And I'm like, okay, so this is an hour that I don't have, like, I can focus on there and, like, try not to pay attention to everything else going on in the world right now.
Right.
Yeah. And also recently, like, every live stream, like, obviously they have a sign language interpreter, and he started yesterday, he's like, every day, so everyone learns something, the sign language interpreter is going to show us a new sign for a word or a phrase or something. And I was like,
that's neat.
Yeah, I was like, that is really, like, helpful and forward-thinking, because you're already here, like, to get information, and you probably have, like, a kid or something there as well watching, or at least in the room. You can, like, follow along and slowly learn new words, and I was like, that is really cool. I was like, that's a good idea.
I like that. That is really neat. I honestly have not watched any of our governor's announcements. I've read the transcripts later.
Yeah.
So, and I've read the executive orders and stuff, and I'm keeping up with the CDC guidance too. Like, we're supposed to wear masks when we go out now because so many people are asymptomatic and they're spreading it without knowing it.
Yeah.
Which I was like, where the hell am I going to get a mask right now? I know lots of people are making them, but I was like, they're in such high demand that I was a little bit worried about it. But then one of my friends, she has made lots of things for me before. I have a purse that she made that's in a Star Wars print.
That's cool.
That she made me for my birthday one year. And she decided to start making masks out of scraps, like the day that it was announced. And she said, hey, if any locals want one, please DM me. I'll make you one and I'll drop it off at your door. So she dropped me one off. She threw it onto my porch and then left.
Like drive by, throw it towards the door.
Yeah, pretty much. And so she made me one. It's black and white, and it has stormtroopers on it.
I think I saw the picture of that. Was it on
Yeah.
Twitter or Instagram or something? I was like, that is
It's
really
on
cool.
both. It is very neat. She knows me because she was just using fabric scraps she already had rather than buying new ones.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be one of the prints she had. She asked what I wanted, but I was like, whatever. I mean, I'm not super picky, but she picked the correct one for me. Very much matches my aesthetic. So, yeah, very grateful for, friends who are doing cool things.
Yeah, I'm happy to see so many people being like, hey, I have like mild, insignificant, like under normal circumstances sewing skills. Let me make these things and send them to people. And I was like, that is really nice.
Yep. My mom has started making masks too. My mom was a seamstress as I was growing up. So
Yeah.
I used to fall asleep to the sound of a sewing machine every night. That was just part of our lives. She mostly did interior decorating, but she also did some costuming for like church plays and stuff. But yeah, she's making masks for basically everybody in the church right now. She made a dozen to send to my dad. And then the rest, she made 21 last weekend.
Damn.
And she was like, but as soon as the word gets out, I'm going to have to make even more. And I'm like, well, something to keep you busy, I guess.
Yeah, like my mom like constantly has like this huge stockpile of fabric that she's like, I'll find a project to use this for. It was on sale.
Yep.
So as of like right now, she's like, I counted how many masks I had like given away or like sold for like a few dollars, and I've made over 200. And I'm like, damn, mother.
Wow.
It's like, damn, because she's supplying like her cult church as well.
Yeah. My mom also has a huge stockpile of fabric. I think most people who sew just have a lot of fabric lying around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like everybody I know who owns a sewing machine also has boxes and boxes of fabric.
Oh, yeah. Like, I plan on that being another version of like my like yarn hell that I have accepted my fate from.
Yep. Everybody I know who knits also has boxes of yarn.
Oh, yeah. I have like huge Rubbermaid tubs of yarn, and the only thing that stopped me was I had no money.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't buy anymore. But
Yeah.
I just got like the little stimulus thing from the federal government or something.
Oh.
$600 just dropped into my bank account, and I'm like, I assume this is mine and here for a reason. So I bought a sewing machine.
Could it be, have you gotten your tax refund? Is it that, maybe?
Oh, God, no. I never get that much back from taxes. So I was like, I'm assuming this is mine. This is fine. And therefore, I'm going to buy the sewing machine I've been wanting to buy so that I can start quilting like a great old lady. I'm ahead of the curve. I have cats. I'm going to start quilting.
I wonder, I seen some people, I think it was on the poverty finance subreddit, somebody said they got a notice from their bank that they're getting money in a couple of days, and it's the $1,200 from the stimulus check. My bank doesn't tell me when I'm getting anything.
Oh,
so
God, no.
Who knows? Also, like, I have direct deposit set up with the IRS because I am a freelancer and I have not had a refund in like 8 years.
Yeah.
It's fine. I always owe a ton of money to the government, so frankly, the stimulus check is going to pay this year's taxes.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's going to. Which, I still have a job, I can still pay rent, so this is helpful in the sense that I'm not going to have to, like, set up an installment plan with the IRS. But
yeah, like, and paying rent right now, like, that's more than a lot of people can do, so you just have to be thankful for that. I'm
Right.
thankful for that, like, even though my hours are cut at work, I still have a job, which is a lot more than a lot of people have.
Yep. This week, my local gay bar did a live drag show for the first time. I hope they keep doing it because it was so, so nice. Like, a lot of the Drag Race girls and Dragula girls are doing a lot of live shows.
That's
but
good.
A lot of those people already have money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they don't deserve it, and they don't deserve tips, and they don't deserve, because even if you do well on Drag Race, you're not necessarily going to make a ton of money. Drag is expensive. Like, it's not a very lucrative career in general. The most famous drag queens, like, still don't make a ton of money in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So my local bar, did a show, and it had all my local queens in it, which I was very, very happy about, because I miss my local queens. I miss the queens who I see, you know, every day, and who I see regularly on Instagram, and who I hang out with at the bars. Because there are some really, really talented queens who just exist in the bars and on Instagram and don't go on reality TV, you know?
Yeah.
So it was really nice to see all of them again, and I threw a couple dollars at my favorite ones, you know. My friend Yara did a Shakira medley that was really fun. She's also one of the only ones who had, like, lighting and props and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. She did, what was the second number she did? I can't remember. Oh, she did Dancing on My Own by Robin, which is a number that I've seen her do, but, you know, that's another thing, is, like, it's, when you go out to see your local queens all the time, you see the same numbers sometimes, but, like, in my brain, it's the same as going to see your favorite artist and they do their singles every time, you know?
Well, yeah. They enjoy doing those same things, and you enjoy hearing those same things because you already know, like, the songs and everything and their performances.
Right, and if it slays, it slays.
Yeah.
So, but it was nice to see all of my local queens, and I threw a couple bucks at them, and, you know, because they're all out of work. They're not doing anything right now. Like,
yeah. They can't exactly go anywhere.
Right. I mean, they can't perform. They can't do much, and I don't know. Hopefully they're all okay. Like, I've got a couple that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, like, all the bartenders and the dancers and people like that, like, there's nowhere for them to go.
Yeah.
So, it's hard. But I'm glad that people are adapting and doing some cool and interesting things on the internet.
Yes. Yes.
Also, this has made drag accessible to people who don't like or can't get into clubs, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, like, if I was into drag and drag queens as much as you are, I wouldn't be one of those people that actually goes out to clubs. So I wouldn't be able to see them as much as, and, like, befriend them as much as you are. Because you're an extrovert, and even before all this hit, and we had to stay home, I was already staying home.
Right.
Like, this has not really changed my life significantly, just because I hate going outside, I hate seeing people, and I already had, like, social anxiety when I went to the store. So this has only ratcheted that up, like, 5,000%.
Yeah, there are lots and lots of reasons to not enjoy going to bars and to not enjoy being in crowds. And so if this makes stuff like digital drag a regular thing, even if it's less often, like right now, everybody I'm following is doing like 5 shows a week online. And I'm like, I can't keep up with that, my man. Like, I can't do it. But if, you know, for example, Bitch Pudding is doing a digital drag fest on Twitch every Friday, and if she keeps doing something like that, like once a month, I think that would be incredible, you know?
Yeah, I thought that was really cool when I saw you tweet about it.
Yeah, and I really like the way that she's doing it, because it's free. You can watch it if you want, for free. But if you would like to donate to a pool they have that gives tips to every single performer and splits it all evenly, you can. Or you can tip individual queens. She puts up their Venmos and their PayPals up on the screen while they're performing. So if you're like, oh, I like this, you can just throw $1 at somebody.
Yeah.
Which is nice. But I like the fact that, because that's sort of how drag shows work in the real world too. Like, my gay bar usually doesn't charge a cover if you're local. So I go and all of my money goes directly to the performers.
Yeah.
So, oh, Sherry Pie is doing really well on Drag Race, and I'm mad about it. I'm afraid she's going to make top 4. I mean, she's not allowed to come to the finale, but
still,
and it's going to be harder and harder for them to edit around her too. Like a recent episode, the theme for the runway was Frozen, the musical.
Yeah.
They cut her out of the runway entirely.
Oh, damn.
Which they hadn't done that before. They'd still shown her outfits and everything, but they didn't for this one. And then the episode after that, she was back on the runway. So I was like, I wonder why. And then another podcast I listened to was like, I bet it's because Disney. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Disney was probably like, we will not abide by this. And
Yeah.
so,
someone in Disney legal was like, excuse me, this is happening where? With who?
Yeah.
Let's not. Like, here's a cease and desist for this specific thing. Let's not do this.
Right, exactly. So the season's been really fun. Otherwise, I have no idea how they're going to film the finale.
Yeah.
Like, because they usually do a live finale at a theater in Los Angeles. But, that ain't going to happen.
Well, yeah, and
like,
if there's social distancing and everything and you can't be within, like, 6 feet of each other, like, they're going to have to, like, make sure there's a lot of space between the queens and everything if they're at the same venue.
Right, and like 12 queens on stage 6 feet apart is not going to be very good for cameras.
Yeah, they would have to like do it in stages, and also all of the like sound people and camera people,
right,
and whoever else you have, because it's not just them on a stage, it's everything else around it.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell?
It's gonna be interesting to see what they do. Some people have been joking about there's going to be a Zoom crowning.
Yeah.
They're going to mail the winner the crown. Just FedEx it to their door.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea how they're going to do it. Some people have speculated that they might not film it at all, and they might just sort of let it be until they can film again. But I'm like, oh God, that sucks for them.
Yeah, and who knows when they would get to film again. Depending on how long this goes on, like, from what I see online, they're not going to have even a hint of a vaccine for this nonsense until 18 months out. So,
yeah,
the world is going to be a different place in 18 months, no matter what happens.
Yeah. They've already filmed this season of All Stars, and they usually crown somebody on set, so they can tell us the winner of All Stars, and we'll have, like, a real crowning, but it really sucks. I feel really bad for the season 12 queens because they've just been, like, their season has been ruined several times by several things, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're doing their best. And I love all of them. It's such a good cast. Like, genuinely, every elimination has been hard because I've really liked everybody who's been eliminated, but also they deserve to go. Like, this week's episode was a Madonna musical, and genuinely everybody did a great job. So it was really hard to judge. Like, they had to get super nitpicky.
Hopefully this is, like, the season that could. Like, the little season that could, and so even with all of this nonsense, everyone will remember these queens from this season and be like, oh yeah, that was that season that was, like, so fucked up, and so they try harder to support them.
Yeah, I hope so, because they all really deserve to be seen and known, and they're all super talented and super fun.
Yeah.
Heidi in Closet is my current favorite, because she's hilarious. Like, everything that comes out of her mouth is gold. She's amazing. And she's super talented. Like, I would go see her in a heartbeat live.
They just... What is wrong with my neighbors?
Oh, I can actually hear that.
Yeah. Oh, they're deciding to stand outside my apartment. Oh, okay, that's fine.
Great,
I mean, I'm not
awesome.
doing anything or recording anything, or, you know, it's cool.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm glad that guy stopped playing music as soon as I started setting up, he stopped playing music. So.
It's like he had a sense. Meanwhile, like, the cat was being, like, she saw the microphone come out and get set up, and so she decided she had to be in my lap. She had to be, like, it was, like, she had to. There was nothing else more important. And so I fed her so much, she is now asleep next to me. I was like, you're done with that food? Here, have some more food. And she's like, my God, this is great. This never happens. 2 cans of food at once. And now she's, like, in a food coma. So that has calmed down.
Excellent.
So, yeah. It's you know, you just gotta learn how to manage this nonsense.
Yep. I had, I usually, before I go to bed, I'll just open the cage doors for Feely and Keely and let them run around and do whatever. The other night, I had a handful of corn. They love corn on the cob. It is their favorite food. So I use it as treats a lot.
Well, yeah.
Because it's, they love it so much, and I don't feel bad about giving them like 10 or 15 pieces.
Well, yeah.
Versus I'm not going to do that for something that's super high in sugar, like a yogurt drop or a Cheerio or whatever. So I had them out, and this just shows the difference between the two of them. So I was sitting in front of the cage on like a chair, and I just had like a little thing of a bunch of corn, and Feely came and sat down on my knee. I gave her a piece, and she sat there and ate it. And then as soon as she was done, she would look up at me like, okay, where's the next one? And she just sat on my knee the entire time. Keely, on the other hand, came up to get a treat and then ran off and found a little corner to hide in and eat it. And then when he finished, he would come run back to me and get another one and then run off to a different corner and finish eating it. Which is fine. He's fat. He needs the exercise. He's a chonker. And Feely is very small and very thin. So I ended up giving her like double the number of treats, which is perfectly fine, frankly. Like that's the ideal scenario for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I feel like that shows their personalities pretty well, is how they interact with treats.
You can definitely tell which one is the extrovert.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, and Feely is a very anxious girl. Like, I don't take her to the vet unless it's a life or death emergency because she gets so anxious about it. And she's old. She turns 10 in June, which in the last podcast I said she turns 10 in April. I fucked up. I found one of my projects during isolation has been cleaning out my desk, which is sort of a dumping pile for everything I don't want to deal with. I feel like we all have those places in our houses.
Yeah.
Where you just
mean my
throw
entire
stuff.
house?
But I found their adoption paperwork, and I had apparently transposed the numbers of her birthday in my brain. Keely's in October, his is October 15th, and Feely's is June 4th. In my brain, I thought it was April 6th.
Aww.
So for years, I've been celebrating her birthday in the wrong month, so oops. But she's very anxious. She always has been. And as she gets older, like, I'm genuinely afraid that, like, if I stress her out too much, it's going to be too much for her and it's going to kill her, frankly.
Yeah.
So I don't take her anywhere. And I don't take her to the vet unless it's, like, life or death. Like, if she was sick, I would take her. But, you know, she doesn't go for regular checkups and stuff just because I feel like at this point it would stress her out too much and it would be worse than whatever they would do for her. So, you know.
Yeah, like you gotta factor in, it's like, okay, is the stress worth it? And if the stress isn't worth it, like, they'll be fine. Yeah.
Keely has to go to the vet on Monday, which I told you this off camera, because one of his nails I trim his nails every 4 to 6 weeks, but apparently I missed one last time, and so one of his nails is curling in towards the pad of his toe, and so I made a vet appointment because I couldn't get to it myself, and me trying was both stressing him out and I think hurting him, because I couldn't get my clippers underneath the nail because it was too close to the skin, so I'm just gonna go let a professional do it, and hopefully it'll be fine. Hopefully they can shape it in such a way that it won't do this again.
Yeah.
And I'll just have to keep an eye on it for a while. But it's not like life or death or anything, but it is very sad, my poor baby.
It'll be just an annoyance for him right now. An annoyance for him also while the vet handles it, but then they'll be over.
Yeah, and then it'll be over, and he'll be a lot more comfortable afterwards, too.
Yeah.
So, it's, but I'm stressed out about the idea of going to the vet right now.
Yeah.
Just in general. I don't know if I'm going to be allowed inside, because their website doesn't say how they're handling it right now. So I may be, like, forced to sit in the car and hand off my baby through the window, which is very stressful for me. But we'll survive. It'll be fine. And hopefully they'll be able to take care of it quickly and it won't be super expensive.
Well, the sugar glider's so expensive, but at least it'll be overhandled and you won't have to do it again because now you know better for next time and to keep a closer eye on it.
Yeah, and it's specifically that nail. All the other ones are perfectly fine, so I don't know why that one decided to grow differently. He is middle-aged, so maybe their nails start to change as they age. I don't know. Versus, like, the sugar glider I had when I was a kid, I don't think we ever trimmed his nails. And he was fine.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But Feelies grow so much quicker than his do. I have to do Feelies every 2 or 3 weeks. Because hers just grows super fast. And if I don't keep track of them, then she'll get stuck to things.
Aw, poor baby.
Yeah. So, versus Keely, his don't grow very fast. Except for this one, apparently. But again, that's never happened before, so I don't know.
This is how sad adulthood has become, is I got new light bulbs for my lamps, and they are so bright. I'm like, oh my god, I have so much light in my house. It's like, this is what adulthood is. Oh my god, I got new light bulbs for the lamp.
That's
so
funny.
sad. Okay.
I mean, I was excited to get a new skillet for Christmas, so,
That's the dream. Is it like one of the iron skillets? Like the cast iron?
I got a copper one. My mom gave me a copper one.
Nice.
It's nice. I like it a lot. Because I thought about getting a cast iron. Hello, welcome to Adulthood 101 with Phoebe and Rachel. I thought about getting a cast iron, but the care of it honestly intimidates me a little bit.
Yeah.
And my mom has pretty much switched all of hers to copper, and so when I told her I needed a new skillet because my nonstick was becoming not nonstick anymore, she sent me that one for Christmas, and I love it. It's so good. Copper's a very good heat conductor, too, so it heats really nice and evenly, and yeah, very into it.
I have a cast iron that my mom gave me when I moved out, like 12 years ago. And
Yeah.
I still have it. I haven't used it a lot just because, like, the care and upkeep of it, whenever I, like, decide to cook something, I'm like, I don't have the patience for this. I'm just going to use the non-stick.
Yep.
But now I
Yeah.
really want a copper skillet because I'm 30 plus years old now and need a copper skillet, apparently.
The copper, they're so easy to clean, which was one of the number one sellers for me when I realized that it's so easy to clean.
Nice.
Stuff just, like, slides off of it. Like,
Nice.
there's no soaking these. There's no, like, it's so easy to clean. It's the easiest thing in my apartment to clean.
Well, thank you for selling me on copper skillets now. Like,
I will say because my mom gave it to me for Christmas, it was a gift. I have no idea how much it costs. So, I think one of the benefits to cast iron is you can get a secondhand one for pretty cheap, and if you re-season it, then it works perfectly. Like, they're the kind of things that will last you for your entire life. I'm not sure about copper.
I'm on Amazon right now just to see. Copper skillet. Oh, that's not too expensive.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, that's not too expensive at all. Like, when you have, like, the fancy one that, like, for some reason is $300 for some godforsaken reason. But everything I see is, like, $20.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Yeah.
No. Nice.
Yeah. No, I love mine. I cook in it, like,
later.
90% of what I cook is in that copper skillet now. That and my mom for Christmas also got me the Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette, and those are the two things that I use probably every day of my life.
Seems legit. I need to actually start wearing makeup again, even though I, like, don't go anywhere, but I need to, like, not keep my skills up, but technically keep my skill, like, the minuscule skill I had in, like, blending and applying makeup. I need to keep it up because it is, like, something you forget, which I realized when I poked myself in the eye with my eyeliner.
I mean, I still poke myself in the eye with mascara sometimes, so, you know, and I, on a regular basis, I wear makeup almost daily. not always anything super elaborate, but like I, on a normal basis, which these are not normal times, but I've been wearing makeup for every social engagement, so to speak, even if there's no video involved, just to make myself feel like a human.
Yeah.
Because makeup is just one of those things that is very much a self-care thing for me. Like, I do it because I love it, not for any other reason. And I don't care if other people like it or other people care about it or not. Like, I do it 100% for myself. Getting compliments is obviously nice, but that's not why I do it. But I don't leave my house without eyeliner on. I have not left the house without eyeliner on since I was 12. Like, it's just, if I put nothing else on, I put on eyeliner. Because it's just, it's funny, I've had one of my friends said that they sometimes don't compliment me on makeup because it's just part of my face and they don't think about it. Which I'm like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, that seems legit, because you see the same person enough and their makeup doesn't drastically change. Your brain automatically is like, oh, that's just what they look like. So the one time they change something significantly or they don't wear makeup at all, you're like, oh my god, they were wearing makeup this whole time.
Yep. But, you know, when I was 12 was when, I think that the first, I'm trying to remember timelines. I was 14 when 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge by My Chemical Romance came out. So Bullets came out before that. So I must have been 12 when Bullets came out. And yeah, I started wearing eyeliner because of the emo boys that I loved as a tween.
Well, obviously, as you do.
Yeah. And I just never stopped. So I'm like serving Warped Tour 2003 realness right now because I have not washed my hair in a while. Let's put it that way.
It's okay. You're at home. It's fine.
Yeah. And my hair is currently, I have black hair with teal roots, like Gerard Way in for like 2 months back in like 2004.
Nice.
So, you know, that's the look. Nobody has asked if I'm copying Billie Eilish, which I'm happy about. Pretty much everybody who's said anything about it has been like, oh, I love your hair, or, oh my god, you look like Gerard. So, those are the reactions that I wanted.
That's legit. My roots right now, since I don't have, like, light-colored roots, when I put red over my whole head, the black that had grown out, it stayed, but the roots took the red really easily, so now I have, like, a dark red transferring into black, almost like an ombre situation, which I'm not upset about. That's fine.
That's a good look.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Yeah, I'm really digging the teal roots. Like, every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, you know what? This is a good look for me. Like, I enjoy this. Teal is one of my favorite colors anyway, so I am going to need to do my roots at some point during the next, like, month. But all of the Sally Beauty stores are closed. So,
yeah.
Which I know I can order, but, you know, I miss being able to walk in and pick something up. I don't want to pay shipping.
Yeah.
But, you know, you do what you gotta do. It's an apocalypse, but we can't let our style slip.
Exactly.
And by we, I mean me. Everybody else can do whatever they want. Like, I've seen a lot of the memes that are like, what I thought my apocalypse outfit would look like versus what it actually is. And it's like, you know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer versus, like, pajamas.
Yeah.
Versus me, meanwhile, I am currently wearing skinny jeans and socks with sugar gliders on them, and I have a full face of makeup on, and, like, you know.
So what you're saying is you are the main character of the apocalypse, like, movie happening.
Apparently. Probably. And this is a thing that I think is... So in apocalypse movies, the women always have, like, shaved underarms and, like, perfect eyebrows.
Yeah, because we got time for that.
Yeah, even though they've been in the woods for, like, a year. And that's so uninteresting. But I am interested in, like, if we were in a real apocalypse, which we're not in one because, you know, I can still order a package from Ulta and it will get here.
Yeah, and I can like, still get Taco Bell delivered in under a half hour.
This is, like, the most first world apocalypse ever. But if we were in an apocalypse situation, like, my go bag my emergency go bag has like a first aid kit, it has a gallon of water, it has like food for my babies, you know. I have a box of like pantry staples, and those are things that I had before, because I grew up in Florida and my dad worked in hurricane relief, so we always had a go bag. We just did. We always had an evacuation plan because hurricanes are a reality and we have had to evacuate before.
Yeah.
So I've always had that kind of stuff, and I think that everybody should. But anyway, in my go bag is a small makeup kit. Like, it's there. I have a full stick of eyeliner in there. I have a small makeup palette with like dark neutrals in it. So that's just a priority for me, and I would literally, like, if we're talking looting, I would go grab some hair dye and I would go to an Ulta and get like, and steal like 15 of my favorite eyeliner. You know what I mean? Like, those are
as you do, because if you're gonna loot, you need to loot the most important things.
Right, exactly. Like, those are genuinely priorities to me, and those are because they're things that make me feel human. They're things that make me feel like myself, and they make me feel like I'm thriving and living as a human person instead of just surviving like some kind of animal.
Yeah.
You know? So for me, like, in terms of mental health, it's very important for me. So, and it's not for everyone, and that's fine. And I wish we had, in apocalypse movies, I wish that women were able to have different priorities. Like, I would love to see a woman in an apocalypse movie whose eyebrows are grown out, or who, you know, lots of us have facial hair, and like, you're not going to worry about it if you're fighting zombies.
Exactly. You're fighting for your life. You're scrounging for food and like fending off the people that have like the boatload of guns and nothing else, but they want your food because they have the boatload of guns.
But again, people like me do exist, but we are not everyone. Like, so it would be nice to see like how different. It would be nice to see an apocalypse movie in which women had different priorities and looked different based on those priorities.
Hopefully that's something we would get after all this is over, in like 20 years.
But it's like how, in razor commercials, they're shaving a smooth leg.
I know, right?
It's so like, okay, great.
It's like, thanks, guys.
The one thing I have let slip, I haven't shaved my legs in like 3 weeks. But that's it. Everything else, I'm still keeping up. I'm really glad that I don't have a pixie anymore, because if I had a pixie cut, it would look like a nightmare right now.
Oh, yeah. I feel bad for all the people that can't go to, like, the hairstylist and have to just, like, watch their own hair grow out with nothing they can do about it, except cut their hair themselves, which is even more of a disaster.
Yeah, like I said, I'm serving 2004 Warped Tour realness, and so cutting my own hair is part of the look. Because, like, if you think that Gerard Way saw a hairdresser the entire time that he was on tour, you are incorrect.
Like, each day, I'm getting closer and closer to trying to cut my own hair just because it's like, I don't see anybody anyway. And if I go to the store, well, everyone else is more concerned about the fact is like, why the fuck are you so close to me? They don't care about my hair, your hair, anybody's hair.
Yeah.
Like,
also, I think right now is a great time to experiment if you're able to, because by the time this is over, it'll have grown out.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's, a joke that when the gays are in crisis, we dye our hair. And literally within a week of quarantine, like, half of my friends had dyed their hair. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it's like. But also, if you're not going into an office, like, who cares?
Oh, yeah. Like, I've reached the point where it's like I'm looking at hair coloring and hair bleaching on Amazon. And I'm like, this brand is okay. I remember this brand. I might get some, like, to bleach my hair. And then I might get this, like, clipper kit to shave the sides of my head. I was like, I might just do that.
I bought clippers a while ago because I don't know if it qualifies as an undercut anymore, but I did have one, and they grow out so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
When your hair is so short. And so I bought a pair of clippers so that I could keep it trimmed in between full haircuts.
Yeah.
And I'm very glad that I made that decision. It is 100% paid for itself. So
I didn't do that, and I should have, but I was like too scared to like get anything like at my own head.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, I mean, I've fucked up a couple of times, I'm not gonna lie. But I've gotten used to it now, and the way that my hair is currently styled, it hides a lot. Part of my aesthetic right now is I walked off of a tour bus that I forgot how I got onto. Like that's my aesthetic. So the messier it is, the kind of better it looks.
It's like, it's fine.
Yeah. And I get tons of compliments on it from a certain subset of people. And there's another subset of people who, it's funny because I do a number of professional things. Like I do,
you work
not
for Shield,
anymore,
we
obviously. Know. Yeah, but I do public presentations all the time. Like I lead volunteer groups and I do all these things. So, and you know, I do meetings and have a capacity for professionalism that a certain subset of people refuses to accept because of the way I look.
Yeah. Okay, boomers.
Yeah, honestly. And it's so interesting, like, because I remember vividly, like, walking into a library because I was giving a lecture at the local library, and the librarian there knows me and loves me, and, like, she's one of my favorite people in the world. But I walked into that room, and it was mostly people over 50.
Oh, no.
And I could tell that, one, they didn't realize I was the one giving the lecture at first. And then, two, I started talking and I saw people's faces like, this is the expert. This is the person we're supposed to listen to. And it's always interesting to see some people's minds are never changed no matter what you say. They're just always going to judge you based on the way you look.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's another subset of people I watched their faces change as I spoke. Like, as they realized that I'm an articulate and well-spoken person and that I knew what I was talking about and that I could answer all of their questions on this particular thing I was giving a lecture about.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to watch their faces change and realize, oh, we misjudged her. Oh, she actually does know what she's doing. Oh, she's not a child, you know? So it's yeah.
I mean, that's good that they were open to that and realizing that they were wrong, which is not something that happens a lot.
Yeah, like I said, there were several people who just were never going to listen to anything I had to say, and I just learned to ignore those people and not give a shit. I don't believe that the way you look has anything to do with how well you do your job.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I don't give a shit. And, you know, a certain subset of people, boomers, let's be real, will be like, well, I don't want a doctor working on me if they have, like, a neck tattoo or, like, purple hair. It's just not. And I'm like, did they graduate med school? Did they do well? Do they know what they're talking about? Do they respect me? Because those are the things that matter to me.
Exactly. Like, I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you do in your spare time unless it's, like, going to Klan meetings. Then I care about what you do in your spare time. I do care a little bit about that. I care a whole lot about that, and I'm not going to give you my business. But... right. Like, whatever you do, like, you be that closet furry. As long as you prescribe me the right amount of medication that does not kill me and gets the job done, I don't care.
Yeah. And I truly don't understand why people care so much about the way that other people look. Like, it's just never been a thing that matters to me.
Yeah.
And maybe that is because I do have a sort of alternative look. I remember hearing a story one time about Frank Iero, who's from My Chemical Romance, and he had, like, essentially a nervous breakdown about the idea of having to go out and get an adult job and be an adult. So he went into a tattoo parlor and was like, put it on my neck. Just give me a neck tattoo so that I will never be socially acceptable. And, like, I felt that.
Like, yeah, I feel that. I feel that on a spiritual level.
Yeah. And I was just like, I've never related to someone more. I'm not going to get a neck tattoo. I don't have any tattoos. I'm not opposed to them. I just don't have any. But yeah, no, like, I don't own any professional clothing anymore. Because I haven't worked in an office since I was, like, 24.
Like, everything that could be deemed professional, I got rid of when I left my mom's cult. I was like, fuck all this. I will never have dressy or professional clothing ever again. And I've lived my life in jeans and, like, Avengers t-shirts since then.
Yep. I do have a couple of nice dresses. One is a relatively casual one that's really nice for summer because it's short. And then my favorite one I own has spikes on the shoulder and is completely see-through in the back.
Nice.
So I wore that one to Broadway to see Brendan Urie in Kinky Boots. I felt like it was fitting. But yeah, that's legit. The fanciest thing I own.
No, I made like a goal for myself. I was like, I will never wear a skirt or a dress ever again. And so far I have kept that up, and I'm like completely acceptable with that. Yeah. I'm accepting of myself, the fact that I will never wear a skirt ever again.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally get it. I do wear dresses. I do wear dresses and skirts occasionally. Well, my stomach grumbled really loud. I don't know if you're going to hear that on the podcast.
That's fine. I'm too busy, like, distracted by what the fuck is going on outside. Just a second. I hear cars.
Okay.
What is happening? Oh, it's a UPS truck. That's fine. Oh, that's just the UPS truck. I just heard knocking and talking, and the last time that happened, it was a police car in the front yard, and I'm like, why the hell are you here? Oof. It's been quiet. Okay.
I ordered stamps, and I was supposed to get them delivered yesterday, but they didn't show up.
Unacceptable.
I'm like, I swear to God, if USPS, if the United Postal Service, has lost a package from the United States Postal Service, I'm gonna be so mad.
It's like it literally came from yourself. How did you lose it?
What? Because it was supposed... Well, and it should fit in my mailbox. It's just a book of stamps. But... Because if it didn't fit in the mailbox and they had to leave it in the office and the office is closed, I would understand. But, like, it should fit in my mailbox.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't know. Hopefully it'll get delivered today, because informed delivery does say things may show up within 3 days of getting this notification. So I'm gonna wait. But, like, I have letters ready to send out. They just need stamps.
Yeah.
Like, I finished yours the other day, but I have no stamps. So, like, it's sealed and ready to go. It's just, I don't have a stamp.
I imagine, like, I feel so bad for the postal office. The postal office. Wow, you can tell the hard cider kicked in. Holy shit. I feel so bad for the post office and everyone that works there, because I've seen complaints that they don't have PPE and they don't have ways to protect themselves, and Amazon is a thing, and they're sending out so much extra crap because everyone is at home ordering shit.
Yeah.
And it's not like people are using Amazon Prime, because why would you pay for that? Even though I do, but still, I feel so bad for the people that work at the post office. And the fact they have to deal with all this crap.
Yeah, they have to handle a bunch of stuff. Like, they have to put their hands all over all sorts of things.
Yeah, and you don't know if people have coughed on it or let their kids lick it or whatever, and I'm just like, I feel so bad for them.
Even though I'm sending letters anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the post office. You can't not send things.
Yeah.
Because it's the damn post office that sends things. But still, like, I want to, like, spray everything. Like, if I sent anything, just spray it with disinfectant and it'll be slightly moist, which would probably make it worse.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry for your moist letter.
I've heard some people say to leave them for 3 days before touching them. Like, just put them somewhere and don't touch them for 3 days, because apparently the virus only doesn't last that long. I don't know.
I wonder if I get my mail and put it in my car, which gets, like, so super hot when the sun touches it, if it would, like, obliterate the virus.
Well, I've known a lot of people who've just been leaving their stuff in their car for, like, 2 or 3 days and then going and getting it. So, who knows? I don't know.
Everything in my car is so super disinfected because it's been in there for, like, 3 months.
I don't know if there's any, like, specific guidance about it, but
I should probably do a Google later.
Yeah, maybe.
Just to see. Goodness.
But the plague letters are going well. For listeners, one of my projects during this is to send mail to people. And I had 3 options that my friends could choose from. Friends and mutuals on the internet. Basically, you could have a card. I could send you a card that says nothing about the virus, nothing about current events, just a happy, nice card. Second option was a hi, everything's gonna be fine, we're all gonna be okay kind of card. The third was an overdramatic letter that deserves a place in a history book about the plague.
Is that what everyone chose?
100% of people have chosen the plague letter. I knew it was a good idea, because when I thought of it, I was like, oh, this is funny. But I thought somebody would want something else, but nope, everyone has decided they want a plague letter.
No, it's the meme from our times. The plague letter.
And I'm too much, and my too much gene is very strong, and so I have like 17 tabs open in a window about letter writing in the 15th century. And I've got some Shakespeare open, and yeah, so, and I let everybody give special requests. Phoebe requested an update on my fur babies. One of my friends requested a letter from the point of view of one of my sugar gliders, talking about how this isolation has affected their schedule. 'Cause I'm home more. And so my friend has cats, so I decided to write it as if Feely was writing to their cat. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that this is a thing that will exist.
Yep, and I'm writing them with knowing that people are probably going to share them, so like it's perfectly okay if you decide to post pictures of it.
Oh yes, I will.
But yeah, so a sentence that I wrote the other day, because one of my friends requested song lyrics of stuff I've been listening to. So
in My Chemical Romance lyrics?
No, actually. A sentence that I wrote was, I leave you with a sonnet from one of our mutual favorite modern-day poets, Peter Lewis Kingston Wentz III, because that is Pete Wentz's full name. And it's so bougie and bullshit, and it fits very well in plague letter times. So,
that's beautiful. See,
Peter Lewis Kingston Wentz III.
I thought about copying you and be like, oh, I could send overdramatic letters to everyone in my group chat and everyone else that wanted one, but then that's more pressure on me, and every time I have extra pressure, I just shut down. So honestly, I might just, everyone I have an address for, I might just send them glitter bombs instead. Just nothing, no words, nothing. They just open the envelope and it's full of glitter.
Yeah.
One person I know would disown me because I tried to do that with Christmas cards, and she shook it and heard the glitter and sent me a small video of just her shaking it, being like, "Bitch, seriously."
Yep. No, it's funny. I've sent Christmas cards in the past. I think that you have gotten one from me.
Yes.
But one of my friends specifically requested this time, please no glitter. Because I said, the thing is, for Christmas they had requested glitter, and so I did what was requested of me, and I put a lot of glitter into the envelope.
Oh, this is too much glitter.
And so this time she was like, no glitter, please. I'm good. I must have sent her enough to last for several years.
I think I'm actually going to send the glitter bombs, and I'll know who is prepared, because whoever has listened to this will know and expect it. But if people have waited to listen to this or don't listen to it at all, which is perfectly fine. I don't expect anyone to ever listen to anything I put out onto the internet. Why, God, would you? But I'll know who has heard and been like, bitch, don't you dare. Yeah. So what I'm saying is expect a glitter bomb in 2 weeks.
Okay, that's fine. I'm good with that.
I have so much glitter in my house.
Me too, honestly. my old apartment probably still has glitter in the carpet, even if they replaced it. So, you know.
The new people will just like find glitter somewhere and be like, where did this come from? We're like 45 and have never been outside. Where is this glitter that fell from the ceiling?
Yep.
That was a voice I did. Sorry.
I got a postcard from Ray the other day. Rachel, our mutual Rachel.
The other Rachel.
Yeah. She spells it differently than me. But yeah, she requested a card or a letter, and then she asked me for my address so she could send me something in return. So I got her postcard the other day.
Aww.
Hers is ready to send out too. It's just, again, the U.S. Postal Service has to give me my stamps.
You should get one of those postal scales that every podcast ever is.
Stamps.com.
Stamps.com. You get a free postal scale, whatever they call it. Plus whatever shipping. I should know this. I listen to a lot of lore. And that's one of his main things.
This podcast is brought to you by Stamps.com and Helix Mattresses.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All mattresses.
Mattresses and Stamps.com. For a long time it was Audible. Then Audible chilled that shit out. And now it's Stamps.com. And whatever mattress thing is the craze right now that I can't remember because I've had hard cider. There's something else. Socks. There's a lot.
Yeah,
Bombas socks is a thing.
Also MeUndies.
MeUndies, yes. And HelloFresh. Yes. Yep. HelloFresh.
One of the podcasts that I listen to, it's called Says Who. It's a political podcast, but also not really. It's a political podcast, but it's more of a coping strategy.
Yes, I still need to listen to that.
It's very good. They're slowly losing their minds right now, and it's both entertaining and comforting to listen to, honestly. It's been good. And the community around it is so good. Like, I'm part of a Discord server for it, and everyone there is just so pure and wonderful, and it's just a very good community around a very good podcast. But, Maureen, they don't have any sponsors. They're completely, like, fan-funded. They have a Patreon. For a while, they were just funding it out of their own pockets.
Yeah.
And now they have a Patreon. But Maureen has a running joke where, they are sponsored by Blue Apron, except that everything is wrong. And so she'll describe all of these meals that sound just not correct. And she's like, yeah, and Blue Apron, if you sign up using Says Who, they will send you 50 free boxes of 1 tomato each. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dan is like, we're not sponsored. Don't say their names. Stop saying their name. They're not giving us money. And also, we're never going to get a sponsorship at this rate.
Oh, exactly.
So, it's one of my favorite running jokes that they have. Especially because she sneaks it in, and Dan never sees it coming.
He's like, oh, no.
Yeah, like, imagine me sitting here talking about my vegan pizza and you being like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. And then me being like, and you too can get a vegan pizza with Blue Apron. Just use code #fandom. And, yeah.
I'd be like, excuse you, if you're getting money for this, I'm going to need you to share. Because, like, right. The domain for #fandom.life cost me $50. Like, excuse me. Oh,
if I had a sponsor, you'd get a
pay
cut.
That. Oh, shit.
Important things.
It is important.
I have like constant Instagram live notifications now. Like, I might have to turn them off. Because before all of this, people only went live occasionally.
Yeah.
Now, like 17 people that I follow are going live like every day.
Nice. That's me with like Twitch right now because I'm like, oh,
yeah,
recommended Twitch channels. Someone else is playing The Sims 4. They're so cute. Oh, they look like such a nice person. Subscribe, and then they're on constantly, and I'm like, oh no. Oh,
Yep.
These 12 people are streaming all at once. Most of them are Animal Crossing. Why? since that's the big thing now, which is fine. Animal Crossing is fine. But everyone is streaming Animal Crossing, and I'm like, I subscribe to you to watch you have drama in The Sims. Why are you playing Animal Crossing? Still.
Yep.
Thor, stop staring at me and jump up here instead. Come on. Okay, fine. Fine. He's going to stay on the floor.
Why are there chocolate chips on my grocery list? What do I need chocolate chips for?
Everything?
Oh, because strawberries are on sale this week. That's why. Because chocolate dipped strawberries are the way to go.
Nice. At the store, not only did I find toilet paper, I found flour and also instant yeast. And I was like, hot damn. I'm so adult in the pandemic. This is such a great day.
Yep. That is jackpot right there.
I was like, oh my god. They restocked the yeast. Because this is my life now.
Yep.
Great.
I wonder if they have any ramen left at the store. I should probably have a backup.
Oh!
Just in case.
Shit. They have plenty of ramen at my local Kroger, which is the main place I shop because Walmart is scary.
Yeah.
But you know what they have not had since our last episode where I talked to you? Tofu.
They still, mine has completely ran out of tofu too, and they haven't restocked it. Well, as of last week. I'm probably going either tonight or tomorrow morning, so we'll see if they have tofu back.
I went to the store a day and a half ago, and I was like, okay, here we go. Let's do this. And avoid everyone. They, once again, were out of tofu. All the tofu. And I'm like, how? Why?
Who is buying this? Like, are omnivores trying to learn how to make tofu?
I was like, is this how every, bag of beans is gone, even though a lot of people, have no idea what to do with a fucking bag of beans? Dried beans.
Yeah.
They did get some rice back in, and I was like, oh my god, people have stopped, buying all of the rice.
Yeah, I found rice last week, too.
Adults in a pandemic, there's no rice or beans.
They had, I got vegan cheese for $1.99 on discount.
Nice.
And it was the good Miyoko's stuff, which is $9 for a wheel of it.
Nice.
$1.99. It's so good. I'm so sad about how good it is, because now I'm just gonna go stare at it at the grocery store and not buy it because it's $10 freaking dollars.
That's what killed me, and half the reason I phased out of being vegan was the Kroger, my local Kroger. Wow. My local Kroger had this excellent, good vegan cheese, and I was like, oh my god, it melts like regular cheese. I forget what brand it was. It's been so long, but then they stopped carrying it, and I couldn't find it anywhere else. And I was so upset, and that's when I was drinking heavily and wanted pizza all the time.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to have pizza when you don't have cheese.
It really is. Nutritional yeast can only take you so far.
Oh, right.
I mean, and I eat a ton of nutritional yeast. I put it on basically everything. I am that stereotype.
When I had a huge container of it, and I used to put it on everything. Nutritional yeast on broccoli, roasted broccoli, was excellent.
Oh, yeah. So good.
And then my fridge died, and it somehow spoiled in the 6 hours that my fridge was not working. And
yikes.
I haven't had a chance to buy another container, but I might do that because Amazon is a thing now.
It is. They used to have it in the bulk bins at the fancy rich people grocery store, and that was the best way to do it because it was super cheap. I could get a thing of it for $2.
Nice.
Because it was $9 a pound, but nutritional yeast is so light that you can get 3 cups of it, and it was $1 or $2. Yeah. But then they stopped carrying it in the bulk bins, and I think it's just because it wasn't selling well enough. But Trader Joe's has my favorite kind. They sell bags of it for $3.99 here, which is not too expensive because it lasts me a while.
Yeah.
Just treat it like any other spice or whatever. But Trader Joe's has been a nightmare since this all started.
Oh, I can only imagine, because it's like, it is the rich people's store.
Yeah.
Where you go in and automatically have to fork over $80 and buy one apple.
Yeah, it's actually, like, here it's not that bad. I buy all of my produce at Smith's, which is a subsidiary of Kroger. But Trader Joe's is where I go for specialty stuff, like the nutritional yeast, which is not very expensive at all. Especially since the kind they sell at Smith's is, like, I think I paid $5.99 for it. And it's roughly the same size, and it's not as good.
Yeah.
It has the same ingredients, but it doesn't taste as good, so I don't know what the issue is. Maybe there's, like, a different number of fillers or something, or I don't know. But the kind from Trader Joe's tastes better. It's more concentrated. I don't know.
Nice.
Nutritional yeast. It has a bad name, but it's delicious.
It is. Like, I liked it when I used it all the time.
I use it a lot on pasta. Because it's a good sort of replacement for Parmesan cheese. Like, basically any pasta that you would sprinkle Parmesan on at the end, just sprinkle some nutritional yeast on it.
Nice.
It doesn't taste exactly the same as Parm, obviously, but it's the same sort of network of flavors, I guess.
Have you gotten any writing done at all? Or editing or anything? Is that another laughing dot gif?
Yeah, it's I have written a couple of times. I'm hosting a virtual write-in tomorrow, so theoretically I should be writing tomorrow.
Well, that's good.
But it's hard to concentrate, and I've sort of been putting all of my creative energy into the plague letters. So part of me is like, this counts as writing.
It does, because you're researching and shit. Like, you're actually putting in effort.
And it's creative nonfiction.
Yeah.
You know. So I have been... All of my creative energy has been going to those, and it's easier to do that because other people are waiting on them and expecting them.
Yeah.
So it's easier to motivate myself to do that. So, I don't know. Like, I want to write fiction. I want to keep editing. But it's just very hard to get motivated to do anything right now. And I'm trying to tell myself that's okay.
It is.
But it's hard. Especially because there was a deadline that I was supposed to be working towards at the end of April that I don't think I'm going to be able to finish, unfortunately.
One of the people that I follow on Twitter that's an author, she was talking with her therapist, and I'm in
words.
Oh my god. So, I'm in her Discord that she has with her co-author of all her books, and she went to her therapist, and she said, my therapist said that whatever you feel right now is the right feeling. It's normal, because the current situation is so abnormal. There's literally no normal for us to, like, cope with. And so whatever we feel right now is acceptable and what we should be feeling. And I was like, damn! I was like, that is really good. And, like, that helped put it into perspective for me. So, like, this is such an abnormal fucking situation that whatever is happening, it's like, we don't have a precedent for this nonsense in, like, our current time. So, like, we just gotta get by however we get by, you know?
Yeah, I think that's right. I like that, too. Because I knew I was going to suffer. Like, as
you more than most
times.
Because of your extrovertedness.
Yeah, I'm an extrovert. Like, my coping mechanisms pretty much all rely on other people. Not necessarily in the sense that I'm going to other people with my feelings, which I can still do if I want to, but in the sense that if I feel like shit, I go to a bar and go to a random punk show on Fremont Street.
Yeah.
Like, I go out to the gay bar, and that makes me feel better. You know, if I am having a hard time concentrating and I want to go write, I go to a coffee shop and sit down with headphones on with a bunch of people around me, and that usually kickstarts my motivation.
Yeah.
So, like, all of the things that I do to make myself feel better and to keep my anxiety low and to keep my headspace healthy, all of that's been taken away.
Yeah.
So I knew that I was going to suffer. Like, I knew that it was going to be hard. But yeah, it's that doesn't change. Like, knowing doesn't change how hard it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, so writing is, I'm doing the best I can, which is not as much as I would like to be doing, but I'm, trying to be okay with that.
Well, and doing the best you can is, like, really all you can do right now, because the situation is so abnormal and so outside of whatever we've had to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just suffering more.
But I'm still, not suffering as much as people who have got the virus, or who have family members who got the virus, or,
right.
People who have to be on the front lines in healthcare, and people who have to go work at grocery stores and pharmacies and things like that, and they should all be getting paid more right now. Like, it's cool and great that we're calling grocery store workers heroes, but, like, I don't think that does anything practically.
It's like, bitch, call me a hero and also pay me like $20 an hour for having to deal with this nonsense,
Right. And a number of people in that situation are going and putting themselves at risk because they wouldn't be able to pay rent otherwise.
Right.
And yeah, so it's one thing to be grateful, but our society needs to do much more for them.
Right.
And not just during the pandemic, just like all the time. So
I'm really looking forward to seeing in a few years when the teenagers that have to watch grandma die and see this stuff on the news, like, they age up and they turn 18 and they start voting. And I'm really looking forward to that.
I hope they do actually vote.
Right?
Because young people historically do not vote. So if anyone between the ages of like 18 and 28 are listening to this, go fucking vote.
Right?
Vote.
I was so excited when I saw, before all this hit, there was a teenager that was, I think she had just turned 18 at work, and she was so invested in the local run for governor. She was like on her phone constantly, like, she's like, this county just like chimed in with all of their votes. This number has gone up. And I'm like, I am so proud of you. Oh my God.
That's great, because the local stuff is the stuff that matters most to our everyday lives, too.
Right.
So if you have a hard time with, if you only are voting for president, like, you're really not doing as much as you could be.
Exactly.
Like, our Las Vegas's mayor is awful. I hate her. She's terrible. But she's still in office because only like 12% of people came out to vote.
Yeah, all the old people.
Yeah, and they were all old people who I guess like her for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, we had a primary to vote for governor, and she won by such a huge landslide that we didn't even have a general. So that's why she's still here.
Yeah.
And she's terrible. Like, versus, our governor has been doing great. Like, I don't love him or anything, but I did vote for him, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
He is a very moderate Democrat. So, like, not my ideal, but definitely better than the Republican he was running against.
Right.
And he is really...
We shouldn't have to settle for, like, the lesser of two evils, but...
Right.
Sometimes you just have to, like, suck it up and deal, which is stupid.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah. But, when the choice is between evil and a slightly less evil, I will still choose the slightly less evil.
Right.
Like, I'm still gonna choose the person who is not going to try to take away abortion rights or, send all of the immigrants back to their home countries or, like,
right,
or
it's
try
really...
to
Go ahead.
take away trans rights and
right.
repeal LGBTQ rights and, yeah.
It's really funny to see people that are like, oh, well, abortion is terrible. Also, I don't really want to support giving hospitals more money so they can take care of people that are dying. It's like, so you are pro-life, and also once that baby comes out, you don't care anymore. So you're pro a fetus and pro nothing else. I see.
Oh, yeah, and that's definitely proven by the same people who are anti-abortion are also anti-welfare and are also anti-food stamps and are also anti-this. Things that make especially young and single mothers' lives much easier and much better.
Well, she shouldn't have gotten pregnant to begin with, because people can just shut that shit down, right?
Right. And of course we can't pay for any birth control education or sex education, because that'll just make people have sex. That doesn't seem to have worked for them so far.
I know, right? I can't. I hate this country so much.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I wonder how Boris Johnson's doing.
You know, I don't
did you
even
see that?
fucking care.
It's karma, you know what I mean? He was all like, this is no big, I'ma shake people's hands, whatevs, and now he has the virus.
This is why I'm like, whenever I see someone on Twitter that has like a bad opinion, I'm like, I'll shake your hand. Because it's like, this is the new threat. It's like, don't make me come over there and shake your hand. I'll do it. Because you don't know that I don't have the virus, but I'll shake your hand. Give me a kiss. Here we go. Like, I can't. It's like, I hope that's the new threat. It's like, I'll come over there and shake your hand. Don't make me do it, because I will.
I would be 100% fine if a side effect of this pandemic is that we don't shake hands as greeting anymore.
Oh, God. I am so glad that I finally got fed up with the fact that I hated touching people's hands. I've always hated it. I've hated it so much. Yeah. And last year, like my resolution is a cat thing to prevent fleas. My resolution last year was, I'm gonna stop touching people's hands because I don't want to. I hate it.
Yep.
And now it's not even a thing anymore. Like, I'm like, why are you holding out your hand? I don't shake hands. I'm not going to give you an elbow bump. Why the fuck would I do that? Just don't hold your hand out to me. And
we should switch to bowing like some Asian countries do.
Right? That's so much nicer. It's nicer and respectful, and you don't have to touch other people. Like, get the fuck away from me.
Yep. If I can get out of this with being like, oh, sorry, I don't shake hands with people, and people just accept it, like, that would be great. That'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah. It's always, like, the guys. I've had a couple of guys, when I started doing that, they'd be like, oh, well, give me a fist bump. And I'm like, bitch, I'm not giving you a fucking fist bump. I don't want to touch your hands. Because you don't, like, wash your hands anyway after you go pee. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yep.
I'm just so glad I've already ingrained that into myself. I'm like, I'm not going to touch your fucking hands. That's gross. And now I'm just paranoid about touching every other thing ever.
Right. I do miss touching people, but people that I want to touch. You know what I mean? Like,
right? I
miss hugging my friends.
Yeah.
You know, I miss making out with strangers at the bar. Like, those kinds of things.
Our lives are so different, Rachel.
I miss sitting on the patio outside of my favorite gay bar at 2 a.m. and sitting too close to people that I've just met and talking about our families.
Yeah.
And talking about our experiences with being queer and how it's changed depending on our generations. I know one of the last times I was there before all this started is so funny. Like, gay culture is so foreign and different from straight culture in ways that I forget about sometimes because most of my friends are queer.
Yeah.
But I met this group, and it was this guy and his sister was visiting him, and she wanted to come see some drag, and she was really cool. And so she was from Alabama. She had like a husband and kids and stuff, but she was there by herself to visit her brother, and so he took her out to the gay bar. We had a nice conversation. She was from Alabama. Her accent was real thick, and it made me very happy.
Nice.
I love good Southern accents. But, and she was like, God, I feel so old. And I was like, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? And she was like, oh, I'm 39. And I was like, oh, girl, that's very young in gay years. Like, you are not the oldest person here. There is a pair of husbands inside who are literally 62 years old. I know because I asked them. And they're just here dancing and hanging out. Like, it's just such a normal thing.
Yeah.
For, like, because none of us quite follow the life path that's set out for people. You know, like, there's this idea that you have to go to college, get a job, get married, have kids, like, have a house, all of that stuff. But I know very few queer people who have done that.
Yeah.
In that order. I have several, friends who are married, and I have several friends who have kids, but, like, it's just such a different universe, and we're not expected to do those things. Because when you start evaluating where you fit in society, and you realize you don't fit into one aspect of it, it's much easier to question everything else.
Oh, God, right?
I think that's why a lot of queer women are child-free, because we don't have the automatic get married, have kids. And so, because we've realized, we don't have to do that.
Right.
And some people still do, and that's great. And if that's something that you actively choose, that's wonderful. But, like, you're not required to. It doesn't feel like a requirement. So, I don't know. It's just nice, like, sitting on the patio of that gay bar talking to people from, like, completely different generations and states and lifestyles and backgrounds, I have been drunk at 2 a.m. and talking about coming out stories with strangers and, like, told them more than I've told my own family. And, like, it's, I miss that. I miss that connection of being in a space that feels like it's for me.
Yeah.
So, I miss people, Phoebe.
I miss sorry. People. I was thinking about this. I wonder if it would help you, like, with your writing stuff, if there was just some kind of, like, Discord or Zoom hangout where it was just a bunch of people just not necessarily talking to each other, just being there, and you can see their face while they're doing their own fucking shit. So it's just like background noise, but it's people. And you can just, like, type and just know that there are people in the background that don't necessarily require your attention, but they're just there, even if they're strangers, like in a coffee shop.
That's kind of what we're doing with virtual write-ins in my NaNoWriMo region.
That's good.
And it definitely helps. It forces me to actually get stuff done, but it's not the same.
No, God, no.
But it does help. It does help, for sure. There's also an app that I found, or a website that I found a while back that I stopped using, because as it got bigger, I felt like there were problems that weren't being addressed, but it was called FocusMate, and it was sort of that idea. You pick a time slot, you're matched with another person, and you do an hour of focused work with that other person in the background. So
I can see how that would be really super helpful, because there's a presence there, but you're not required to interact with them. And also I can see how straight men would really fuck this up.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the man who created it, the CEO of the company, I think he's a really great person, and he had great ideas. Like, I had conversations with him. Basically, as soon as I started in on the beta and stuff, me and several other women were like, you need a way to block people, because he didn't have one.
Oh,
and I was like, you need a way to block people. You need a way to not punish people for leaving if they feel uncomfortable. You need a way to report people. And he was like, oh, I hadn't even thought about it. And I'm like, we're women. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, somebody's going to show us their dick at some point.
Yeah, like, since it was created by a guy, I can see, oh, well, I've never had this happen to me. No shit!
Yeah. No, and it's not his fault that it's not something he's experienced, but it was something that all of us were immediately like, here's all the ways that gross dudes are going to exploit this.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Because you're a good dude who's never experienced this, you would never think of it.
Yeah.
So, we're telling you this,
Yeah, I can just see so many ways in this go. this goes
Oh, yeah.
horribly wrong. It's like, oh, here's someone's dick, and they're also like talking about Hitler. It's like, oh, I see what's happening here.
Yep. And even if it's not like super gross, even just a guy who, I don't know, says something that he thinks is a compliment or like tries to flirt with you or something, and it's like, that's not, like, I don't think he should be kicked off the platform for that, but I don't want to ever match with him again.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, oh no.
So it's yeah, but it was a good idea, and I stopped using it because as it started getting bigger, I started seeing some of those problems happen.
Yeah, word gets out that you can be weird.
Right, because when it was a very small number of users, we sort of moderated.
Yeah.
You know? And we were able to, like, I don't know, the people who used it were more likely to actually be there to use it for its intended purpose.
Yeah.
Because of the way that I work, I kept getting matched with people in Australia because time zones. Because of the times that I work, which are not normal human times.
Yeah. Well, being
so
in another
fun,
dimension really, like, affects that.
Yep. And it was fun to, like I matched with a guy from India at one point.
That's cool.
And he was really nice. Very quiet. And there was some etiquette stuff that, like, at the beginning, usually you'd be like, okay, I'm working on this. What are you working on? Okay, cool. Good luck. And then you'd mute each other for the rest of the thing. And then at the end, you'd come back and be like, all right, did you do the thing? You know?
Yeah.
It was,
which
it's
sounds great and sounds like a great idea if it was used correctly.
Yeah. So I've thought about doing similar stuff, like maybe through Discord or Google Hangouts and something. But it's just a matter of organizing it and getting, you know, people to participate and be in on it and stuff.
To buy into the idea.
Yeah.
To use corporate speak.
Right. Naomi Novik just posted the cover of her new book.
Oh my god. Okay, so Twitter.
If the internet will load, I will talk about it. I love her.
I follow her on
Spinning
Twitter.
Silver. Spinning Silver was easily the best book I read last year.
I love Spinning Silver so much. I have the audiobook, and so when anxiety gets like super high, I listen to like the audiobook just because it's so nice and so calming.
It's just, it's a long-ass book, and I read it in 2 sittings.
Right? Like, I had to power through that shit.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, and Uprooted was really good, too. I liked Uprooted a lot. So I very much looking forward to whatever she puts out next.
I assume she tweeted about it?
Yes.
How am I not seeing this goddamn tweet? Did it, like, just happen?
Yeah, I was just looking while you were in the bathroom.
Blind. I'm fucking blind. Look, I follow like 600 people or some shit on Twitter. I can't live like this. 500 people. Look, I follow too many people on Twitter, so like this goes by so fast. I need to just add her specific account to a list so I can actually see her stuff. Like, I have all of, like, the original, like, OG Adam Lambert people that I've started following from Adam Lambert. I have them in a list, so I actually, like, see your updates.
Nice.
Because I have, like, so many people. Because I was like, listen, someone's cat has died. This, like, intense change has happened. Someone got married. Someone got engaged. And I didn't know because I don't see shit. And I was like, I gotta fix this.
Yeah, I have a list of people whose updates I care most about, like updates that I don't want to miss. And yeah, there's like, I think I follow like 200 something people, and then I think there's like 30 people on that list.
Yeah.
So it's not very many people, but I see every single tweet they tweet. Ugh, God, I hate people on Goodreads who rate a book 5 stars or 1 star when they haven't read it.
Oh, I can't handle that. Like,
So annoying.
I can't associate with Goodreads. I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna deal with this nonsense.
I have to, otherwise I'll literally forget what books I read.
Oh, well,
so I use it to track my books, and that's it. But, like, Naomi Novik's new book, which was just announced, already has a bunch of reviews, and I'm like, how?
Yeah.
There aren't even any arcs yet.
Yeah, it's like, you're anticipating a good or bad experience. Why? A Deadly Education, a novel by Naomi Novik. Epic fantasy. God bless. God bless. I'm so glad she's doing well for herself.
Me too.
Because she seems like a genuine, like, lovely, nice person.
Yeah, I forgot that we were mutuals a while back. We're not anymore because we've switched fandoms, but, like, we were friends on LiveJournal and stuff. Like, casual friends, not, like, close friends.
Not, like, intense fandom friends.
Yeah, it's so funny how you mentioned the, like, friends from Adam Lambert, because, like, I think I have more friends from the Glam Nation and Adam Lambert experience than any other fandom I've ever been in.
Right? Like, all y'all have been with me for a while.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the friendships I made during that particular period have just really stayed. And I don't know if it's just we were all compatible with each other or, like, what? Because I've been in lots of fandom groups, and usually I only come out with maybe 1 or 2 lifelong friends.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I've got, like, 15 friends specifically from that period.
Yeah.
And, like, close friends, like you, and, like, my other really close friend is Carrie, who's Bombalurina03. She's a Linkin Park stan, too. And those were, like, her 2 main things. But she runs a fan account for Adam's dog.
Aww.
Which I'm like, you know what? That's a mood. His dog is great.
Adam Lambert's dog?
Yeah.
Adam has a dog. I'm so behind the times. Is it a cute dog? Of course it's a cute dog.
It is. It's a Basenji mix.
Oh.
It's very small. Like terrier size. It's very cute. It's a cute dog.
Of course he has a dog. I'm so glad he has a dog in this dark time to keep him company.
Yeah. He's also, he's currently living with Terrence, who is one of his dancers on Glam Nation, and also all the rest.
I'm glad that they, like, are still friends and, like, they stuck around. Because the dancers were so nice.
Yeah.
And just generally cool people.
Yeah, well, and I think, too, Terrence and Adam have been friends since they were, like, in their early 20s.
Oh,
so I think it's just one of those things. Yeah. But they're rooming together during the pandemic stuff, which I'm like, good. I'm glad Adam has a friend around.
Yeah, because Adam's more, like, extroverted as well, so, like, he needs someone around to, like, keep him from going nuts.
Yeah, for sure. Because, like, all of his tour stuff has been canceled.
Oh.
Like, he was doing a short residency in Las Vegas in April. Obviously, that's canceled.
Yeah.
It was also wildly expensive, so I didn't have tickets yet, because I was going to wait and see if they, like, went super low on the day of. They were, like, as expensive as Queen tickets, and I was like, bitch, if you think that you deserve Queen prices for your solo stuff, absolutely not.
I remember, like, I'm so glad I got to see as many Adam Lambert shows as I did, but that's because the tickets were, like, $30. Yeah. And my main expense was gas getting to all those places because I live in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Right. Well, and the thing is that when he came here on the original High tour, like, tickets for that were also $25.
Yeah.
And that was only a couple years ago. And that was the last solo tour he did. So I'm like, what in the world changed between then and now? And not only that, like 2 months ago, Carrie got a meet and greet for like $100.
Damn.
So, like, I don't know what the Venetian, because his residency was going to be at the Venetian Casino and Hotel. I don't know what they were doing, but their tickets were like $150.
Yeah, I can't do that.
And I'm like, no way. Like, absolutely not. Like, I paid that for Queen the first time that they toured. Like, but that's very different. And, like, I paid $150 for front row Britney Spears tickets.
Yeah, well, it's Britney Spears. Of course you're going to pay that much.
Right. That's Britney fucking Spears. And I was in the front row up against the barricade.
Oh, yeah.
So, like...
That's worth it.
Yeah. But anyway, her tickets were so weird. Like, the first time I saw her from the pit, it was $99.
Damn.
That was in the first run. And I think that they just didn't know how high the demand was going to be. So the second round of tickets were literally double that. And then they just kept getting higher and higher and higher. So by the last time I saw her was when I paid $160, I think. And that was like the last run.
Yeah.
And even then, I went on like a Wednesday, which was cheaper than going on a weekend.
Well, yeah.
So, and it was still worth it because it was the last show, or it was the last like leg of shows before her residency ended. And I was sort of like, I don't know if she's going to tour again. And then her residency at MGM was canceled, and then the pandemic hit. So it's like, I don't know if she's ever going to tour again, to be honest. So.
Well, it's good that you got to see her when you had the chance, though.
Yeah, and I got to see her do some of my favorite songs, which is great. Because I went every time she changed the set list.
Oh, okay.
'Cause she was here for 3 years. So I feel like I showed a lot of restraint by only seeing her 6 times. But I went every time she changed the set list, basically, so that I was seeing essentially a different show every time. Even though some of the numbers stayed the same, every time I saw her, she had different costumes.
That's cool.
At least. And there were different arrangements, and there were different, like, they moved things around, and so I saw a different show every time.
I can't justify spending that much on one show for something unless I was doing, like, a meet and greet. Just because I don't have that kind of money to spread around. And also, no one comes to the middle of nowhere fucking Kentucky, I swear to God.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even pay that much for meet and greet tickets to Dan and Phil, and that is the only person I would do a meet and greet with. I say person because they are one person with one brain cell. One brain cell that they split between the two.
Everything I know about them, that tracks.
It does. Bless their hearts.
Has Dan, like, posted anything?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. He dropped a 45-minute "Yo, I'm gay" and then peaced out for like 9 months, and we've heard nothing.
God.
Phil is still doing what he's doing, which is great. I'm happy for him. He is not my favorite. Yeah. He's not my favorite son. I love him, but he is the third child of my favorite sons.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
And like Dan apparently. So, you know how last episode you just went on about the Untamed? Welcome to my episode with Dan and Phil. So Dan pieced out, barely ever tweets, and because I assume, like, the anxiety of him never posting has gotten to him, and so, like, then the pressure is on extensively in your own brain. It's like, I haven't put anything out. Therefore, it becomes a bigger thing in your mind. Even though the fandom doesn't care and will bitch about anything he does, no matter what he does, they will bitch about it.
And the people who love him and will just love whatever he posts.
Yeah, I don't care. Really... he could upload another, like, 10-minute video of just him blowing his nose. I'd be, like, clapping in the back, being like, you know what? You go, boy. You do whatever the hell makes you happy. But haven't heard shit from him. More recently, he was on a Twitch stream for the Mermaids, a thing in the UK, where they were raising money for LGBT youths, I believe. And so he did like a 10-minute like little interview, just so to like spread awareness and talk about his experience and everything like that. It was the same group that when they had a Pride parade in the UK, he actually went to the parade and was with that group and walked out in the streets with a sign right after that the basically I'm gay video came out, and everyone was like crying and being like, I'm so happy, I'm so proud of you, which we are, obviously.
Yeah. So he's alive.
He is alive. He barely ever tweets, but he is alive. He just tweeted today. I've already forgotten what the tweet is. I think it was talking about, like, how people shave their head in this time, which honestly, legit. I'm still...
Yeah, dyeing hair, shaving heads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm still thinking about it. I believe I will come out of this entire thing, with a half-shaved head. I've accepted it within myself. I just need to buy the damn clippers.
Yeah. It's a good look.
You know, I'm fine with it. And I already had, like... a 1/3 shaved head anyway, where I would shave like the side of one side of my head. So I just want to redo that because that side of my hair is getting, like, long enough to be really fucking annoying. Like, super fucking annoying. And I'm like, I can't live like this. It's, like, long enough to just fall over my ear, but not long enough to stay back behind my ear, which is super fucking annoying.
Yeah. Yep.
So, honestly, like, it's gonna happen. But he apparently was writing something for either a TV show or some kind of thing, like taped thing, like professionally taped thing, but that's now up in the air because of the virus.
Right.
So he was actually going to do something and just not talking about it because they don't like to put something out there and be like, this is what we're working on, and then it not come to fruition, and then people are disappointed and upset.
Which makes sense.
It does make sense, and they're smart for doing that because there's been things that they've talked about later on that they're like, oh yeah, we were going to do this thing, but it fell through, and this is why we don't talk about stuff that we're doing until it actually happens, which is why they, like, randomly appear out of nowhere and are like, hey, we have a book. Oh yeah, we also have a stage show. And then a couple of years later, they're like, oh yeah, here's this other stage show. Blah. Oh yeah, we've been working on this for like a year and a half, but we didn't want to talk about it just in case it fell through. That kind of stuff. So I understand.
I'm similar, so I get that. I don't like talking about things until it's done.
Well, yeah, and like talking about something before it's done, or that if you're just starting to work on it, it kind of ruins it because then in your mind you have this expectation that someone else is expecting it from you. And it's just like, everyone else is expecting this thing that I'm not sure if I can deliver on. So I do understand that. And I'm fine with that. It's just, like, a quarter of his fandom is not fine with anything. And I want to punch all of them. In a nice way. Yeah. I want to shake their hand. But only the ones that are mean to him on Twitter. Because it's like, listen, calm your tits down.
Every fandom has that group of people.
Right.
It's like, can't we not just all chill and just enjoy things?
Right. It's like, listen, you don't have to be an asshole about everything. Just calm down your non-gender specific tits and just breathe for a second and let it go. Be like Elsa. For fuck's sake.
And it's also okay to not like things anymore and to just peace out.
Yes!
Like, it's okay to do that.
It's like, you don't like it?
You don't have to like something. Because, like, Dan and Phil have been around for a very long time.
They are so they've been on old in YouTube time.
Yeah. And so, like, if for whatever reason you're not digging their current content, you don't have to keep watching it just because you watched them as a teenager.
Right?
Like, it's fine.
I didn't even watch them as a teenager, and I'm like, listen, there are certain eras of, like, their YouTube careers that I like significantly more because those videos are more funny to me. Because that is, like, my humor, and other videos, they're not that funny to me. I'm not gonna go to the videos that are not funny to me and be like, I hate this, how dare you make this. That was 5 years ago, and also, shut up.
Yep. Like, I've been on YouTube pretty much since the beginning, so I've watched lots of people, like, come and go. It's insane to me that Dan and Phil have been around as long as they have.
Right?
Most of the people that I watched in, like, 2006, 2007 are not on YouTube anymore.
Yeah, because they found better lives.
Right, and some of them are doing cool stuff outside of YouTube, and that's great. Some people I've just completely lost track of and have no idea where they are, and that's their prerogative. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, that's their business.
And then still some people have continued to make videos, but I don't watch them anymore because they're not content that I care about.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and then some people I go back and forth. Like, I was subscribed to Wheezy Waiter back in the beginning, and then I stopped liking his content, so I unsubscribed. About a month or two ago, I resubscribed because I like the content he's making right now.
Yeah.
But I have no desire to go back and watch videos in that middle period, you know?
Like, I occasionally will watch more recent of Hannah Hart's videos, but my favorite shit that, like, cracks me up every time is the original My Drunk Kitchen stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that is so my humor and is so freaking funny to me. Also, like, the nostalgia factor of me finding the original My Drunk Kitchen stuff, when like that year that she was posting that stuff, that's so freaking funny. And so it's so nice to go back and be like, that's this unpolished, like, weird jump cut stuff. It's really funny and really entertaining for me. And yes, she's doing good stuff now. Also, like, I can like both things or neither things, because that's what people are.
Yep. I'm still subscribed to her, but I don't watch every single video anymore. They're like, if it doesn't have an interesting title, I skip it.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't have to watch every video to like someone as a person or like them in general.
And I've met her a couple of times, and she is so nice and so wonderful, and like I'll always have really fond memories of meeting her. I met her at VidCon on accident, like back before VidCon was what it is now.
Oh yeah,
back when like creators actually hung out with everybody, because they only had like 100 fans, you know, so they wouldn't get mobbed if they walked outside.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine Markiplier like going anywhere right now.
Oh yeah, no.
Because like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was really so I met a bunch of people just by running into him and having like a quick conversation and maybe a selfie, and then going about my day, and most people were pretty chill. That's not how things are, because this was before YouTube celebrities were really celebrities.
Yeah, you know? Like it was very, very tiny microfame. I can only imagine, because I wasn't really like invested in YouTube. It was just the place with the cat videos, because I was involved in other things. Which is like,
YouTube was very much a place where I made a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Because if you commented regularly on people's videos, and if you made video responses, like, they talked back to you, and because they were just normal people.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, you know, it wasn't a career. It was a thing that we all did for fun and for a hobby.
Yeah.
And so it was a very different universe of, like, even the most famous people there were pretty accessible in terms of, like, actually talking to them. Like, I was a moderator in What the Bucks, oh god, what was the name of that? It was a live streaming thing that doesn't exist anymore.
Wow.
I don't remember what it was called.
I don't know.
But I was a moderator in his chat because I was there all the time, and he knew that I wasn't a dick, so he made me a moderator.
Yeah.
So that I could kick out people who were being annoying. There's no way he remembers me now, but, like, you know, back in the early days, it was very much a thing. And John Green used to get on live and read poetry, which was very soothing, very satisfying.
That's cool.
And it was nice. Like, he would occasionally do, like, Q&As, and he answered questions. He answered my question about grad school one time, because I was in college and trying to decide whether to go to grad school or not, and he told me, maybe don't. So I didn't. He's not the reason why I didn't, but, you know, having input from actual writers definitely helped a lot. Because I asked several people, because I was deciding, and so I asked a bunch of authors, like, on Twitter and on YouTube and livestream, like, hey, what's your opinion of this? Because I wanted a bunch of them. And I wanted them from real working authors and not from, like, professors.
Yeah.
Or my dad, you know, who insisted, like, my dad's still trying to get me to go to grad school. Not, like, actively, but he is occasionally like, you know, maybe you should apply for a master's degree. And I'm like, Dad, what would I do with it?
Yeah, like especially, like, in this current timeline, really, you're racking up a lot of debt to not have a job.
The cost-benefit analysis of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Like,
I would love to go to grad school, because I think it would be fun, but fun is not a reason to spend, you know, $20,000 a semester.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it probably wouldn't be that much, because I would only go somewhere if I could get, like, a TA position or something, but, you know, or a fellowship or whatever, but, like, yeah, it's just, the cost-benefit analysis doesn't make sense. But my dad is, you know, in his 60s and in an era where getting a master's degree, like, increased your income exponentially.
Yeah, and now it's, get a master's degree, increase your debt exponentially, and not really sure you're going to have a job to pay off that debt, but damn, you got some debt now.
Yep. when Jenna Marbles first started, she had just graduated with her master's degree, and she was working as a bartender.
Yeah.
Like, that was her life. She did not have a job in her field. And now, like, why would she? Because she's one of the richest YouTubers out there. So
yeah, exactly. You know. Like, I follow I just recently discovered someone that does streams Sims on Twitch. And she streams every day for like 3 hours. She's in college, and she's like, why would I go get a job when I'm done with college? She's getting ready to graduate like this month. Yeah. And people have asked her in her chat, it's Little Simsy on Twitch. And she does a lot of like building stuff in The Sims, which is really cool because I'm shit at building houses. I just like put a box and put everything in there, and I'm like, it's cool. They're fine. They don't care that their house is a box with no walls. But she's like, why are people asking me if I'm going to get a job? She's like, streaming on Twitch is my job right now. I'm making the money that I need right now. Why would I go get a job right now?
Yep.
It's like,
and if you can and you're having fun doing it, then, like, you know, I don't think that necessarily people should look to be YouTubers or influencers as an aspiration or as a career.
No.
I think that you should be looking to make cool stuff that you like. Yeah, I don't know. So, but maybe that's also a very old school point of view for YouTube. I don't know. But I think the people that stick around are the people who you can genuinely see how much they enjoy what they're doing.
Exactly. Like, I think that's why Phil from Dan and Phil is still doing videos. He genuinely likes making videos, and he doesn't care if it's marketable or anything like that, because he just likes putting stuff out there. Whereas Dan, like, gets too much in his own head, and he likes putting stuff out there, but also he, like, puts extra pressure on himself just because of all the eyes on them. And
which I totally get.
I really worry about people now that are seeing their, like, favorite YouTubers that have all these millions and millions of followers, and are like, I'm going to get into YouTube and I am going to have an audience. No, you're not. You can't just jump in there and assume that you're going to have people that want to see your content unless it's very visible that you enjoy the content that you're putting out.
Right, and I think, too, it's, like, I had a thought. Let me gather it.
It's okay. Also, the market is saturated, to use more corporate speak, because people are seeing these YouTubers and people on Twitch and people that have been doing this kind of stuff out of, like, their own joy for so long, and they expect to automatically get that kind of attention to their stuff, and that's not how it works. I don't expect to put out a podcast like this podcast and instantly thousands and thousands of people want to hear what I'm saying on here. I don't expect anyone to want to hear what I'm saying on here. I just really wanted to put out a podcast.
Yeah,
because I like listening to podcasts.
Right. And I enjoy listening to you and Autumn talk. Like, I really do.
Aww.
With the exception of Inuyasha.
Oh yeah, I don't expect you to care about Inuyasha. I need to do another Inuyasha episode, which Autumn is going to get roped into once I can get her butt up in this apartment.
But yeah, it's... I always hate the idea, because there's this sort of pervasive herp derp, anyone can go, like, make a YouTube video and get 1,000 followers. I wish I could make money for being untalented. And I'm like,
have you
ever tried to make a video? Like, have you ever tried to edit a video? Have you ever tried to be and speak on camera? It is a lot more difficult than you think it is.
Yeah.
And editing is difficult. Editing is a talent.
Yes.
Like, and it's hard work too. Like, I've done my fair share of video and audio editing, and it takes hours and hours and hours. And you can work forever on something and it just may not hit, you know? It just may not hit people's sense of humor. It may not hit the right algorithms. Like, it's so much more difficult. And the people who say this stuff, frankly, are usually not charismatic people.
Yeah, they're untalented, and they wish they could be as talented as the people that they are watching or listening to that are actually putting in, like, hard effort into their content.
Right, and, like, charisma is not necessarily something that you can learn. I think you can get better
Yeah.
at it, and I think that you can learn to do more. Like, I genuinely think if you want to get started with YouTube and podcasting or whatever, you should maybe look up some public speaking classes or lessons or tips or something.
Oh, yeah.
Just because there's a lot of stuff that we do in day-to-day conversation that does not read well in video or on audio. You know, like people use a lot of filler words.
Oh, yeah. And, like, I can't, and then,
yeah. And people
yeah, I can't.
start words and don't finish their sentences, and you know, there's all kinds of stuff that you sort of have to be aware of when you are recording for other people's consumption.
Yes.
And I think it's something that you can learn, but some people are better at it than other people when they start, you know. It's just one of those things. It's devaluing of the arts. And hey, guess what? Making YouTube videos is an art. Like, it just is. Whether you want to think it is and whether you like the content or not, it's still an art form.
Yeah. Like, you can see, if you go back to the big content creators, using, like, air quotes, that are currently on YouTube now, you go back to their original videos, their videos, if you look back at them, they're shit. Because they did not know the things that they know now, because they haven't had the experience to build up those skills or anything like that.
Yep.
And like, the same thing with podcasting or writing, anything like that. People, I hate whenever I see, well, I should just write a romance novel and make thousands of dollars, and get like a contract or whatever. It's like, bitch, have you ever tried writing a sex scene at all ever? Yep. And also a plot and scenes in general, and then putting them together into something that someone would want to read.
Yeah. And I love Nano. I've been part of Nano for a long time, but through Nano, I meet lots of people who are like, oh yeah, I'm going to write this book, and then in December, I'm going to just put it up on Kindle. I'm like, ugh, God.
Good luck with that home slice.
And I also meet a number of people, and this may sound a little bit elitist, but I stand by it. I meet a number of people who self-published something and decide, I know everything about the publishing industry, and I'm better than you, and I can give you the most perfect critiques on your work.
No.
And it's like, and the thing is, I've known a lot of people, too, who sent out query letters and manuscripts and didn't get a response, or got a bunch of rejections, like maybe 5 or 6, and then said, well, my stuff is just not for traditional publishing, I'm going to self-publish. And I'm like, or maybe, just maybe, your book sucks.
Maybe you should edit that more and think about the lines of your plot and how they interact, and why you have 3 characters that are technically exactly the same that you could merge into one, but you don't want to.
Yep. And like, I do think that everyone has a story, and everyone definitely has the right to write, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
to create.
If you want to tell a story, if you want to write, if you want to create, that's wonderful, please do. But not everybody needs to publish. It's like how I am in favor of everyone posting selfies. Please post your beautiful faces if you like to. Not all those people need to be models.
Exactly.
You know? It's that sort of a thing. And you don't need to make money on everything that you do. It is okay to write as a hobby. It's fine. It's okay to write because you enjoy it, not because you want to make money on it. And there's this sort of pervasive idea of, which we get this a lot during Nano too, and my co-ML is very annoyed by it, because my co-ML is not interested in publishing. Like, they write for their friends and for fun.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. And that's great, and that's wonderful, and I'm really glad that I have them as sort of that perspective for it, because I do want to publish, and I would like to go down the traditional publishing path. So it's nice to have somebody to give that different perspective of writing.
Yeah.
But there are people who come in and are like, oh, what have you published? Oh, you're not going to publish? Then why are you doing it? Because it's fun.
Yeah, not everything has to be something that you make money off of, which, like, I know that this is a thing because we live in a capitalist society, especially here in America. If you're not making money on something that you do, it's like, oh, well, why are you doing it? Because it's a hobby, and not every hobby has to make you money. You can do it just because you enjoy a thing that's not work.
Yep.
You can enjoy doing something for yourself that's not to provide money, not to make money for a corporation or someone else. You can do it just because you enjoy doing it. And I have to accept that a lot of times I have to refresh my own mindset on writing, be like, look, I'm writing this because I want to tell this story, if nothing else, to myself. That way I know that this is something that I would enjoy reading. If no one else would enjoy reading it, that's fine. But I would love to read this thing, so I'm going to write this thing.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to create this thing because I want to see this blanket I'm making. Or see this scarf that I'm crocheting. Or see this watercolor painting because I want to practice that, but that doesn't mean I'm going to sell any of it because I'm making it for myself.
Yeah.
To prove that
absolutely.
I can.
I don't know if you can hear Feely or Keely. I don't know which one is sneezing.
I heard something in the background, but...
They sneezed.
Oh,
it's fine.
Babies.
It's
babies.
We're about 2 hours away from sunset, so they should be waking up in the next hour or so.
Nice.
Yeah. But...
Also, we've been recording for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
I know. This is well, good luck editing. Keely is chattering. I don't think it's so quiet that I don't think you can hear it. But Keely was just chattering, making noises.
I can't hear it. Sadness.
It's pretty quiet. You have to be up close to the cage to hear, unless they're crabbing. If they were crabbing, you would hear it. But
well, if
fine.
Keely starts crabbing for no reason, just put the mic up there and then send me the sound file, and that can be the outtake.
I think they're fine. He's used to hearing me talking. So
I am super surprised the cats are not all up in my business.
Yeah, your cats have been very quiet, very well behaved today.
Yep, Satan's still breathing. Okay, so I figured she was dead, and that's why she wasn't up in my business. I guess that amount of food just knocked her out. She's in a full food coma, which is fine because this entire stressful month and a half, every time I sit down, all of them are up in my business. Because I guess they can sense my stress, and so they're all up in my business, even more so than usual. I usually have 3 cats on my lap, and I'm like, y'all, you gotta get off.
Yep, it's a lot.
Well, do you have anything else to talk about?
No, I don't have any recommendations, except, yeah, I don't have any recommendations. I don't think we talked about anything specific.
The only recommendations I have is slime videos, because that's my life now, and I don't want to inflict all this on everybody else, so.
Oh, listen to Excommunication by Tyler Glenn.
Oh, yes, that's a very good album. That's a very good album.
If you want gay ex-Mormon feelings, except in pop form, that is the album for you.
Yeah, that was the gay ex-Mormon feelings and the gay Jehovah's Witness feelings, really, they're almost a perfect circle.
Yep,
so,
yep.
Listening to that album, I was like, damn. It's damn, I feel all of this.
Yeah, I grew up Southern Baptist, and a lot of those feelings are very similar. So, it's definitely a lot of those songs I could have written myself if I were any good at lyrics.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Rachel Oddment on Twitter.
Do you have an Instagram? You do, right?
I am also at Rachel Oddment on Instagram.
Nice. And you can find me at Writer Phoebe, and you can find the show at #fandom, and you can find the show notes at #fandom.life. I need to go ahead and re-up the domain name. All right, thank you. See you around the internet.
Bye. Should I say some words while Phoebe is in the restroom? Should I just, like, keep the podcast going myself? Maybe I should just yell about the Untamed some more. No, I'm just gonna sit here and look at Instagram. I'm not gonna do anything.